I hereby conclude we in here making this video before I hit back today. I'm gonna hit back at home. We're training. Remember what I said about guarding your time and protecting your time in the training over 30 video series? This is going to be the eating over 30 video series. All right, we're gonna keep it in. We're gonna do it live. But the reason why I'm doing two is because we're going to talk about more training things than that. We're going to talk about more nutrition things in this. In each video, it's just little practical pieces of advice you can take with you, start implementing that day. This one is a big one that throws people off. It's not the 90s anymore where we think everything got to be bland to be healthy, or sodium's going to kill you, or cause you somehow to gain weight. Keep your sodium consistent because your aldosterone levels, which will influence, basically how much is excreted from the body as far as sodium is concerned, and water and all that kind of stuff where sodium likes to hold on to. Yeah, it's going to adjust based on your sodium amount. So if you restrict it, it will adjust to that restricted amount. When you have an influx, you'll have a whole bunch of sodium. Your blood pressure will probably go up. You'll start to retain water, and you'll be freaking out. So don't do that. Keep a consistent amount so it's not doing this. You probably notice when you have more sodium than usual, that happens because generally when people eat food, they kind of are consistent already with their calories and their nutrition, just naturally based on how they eat. Unless their weight is actively moving, then you're probably eating more and more. Well, you're definitely eating more and more over time, or you're moving less and less. All right. So don't worry about cutting the sodium. Sodium is not your enemy here. Just keep it consistent. And also learn how to cook. Learning how to cook is so many people don't know how to cook. You don't need that. Look, y'all know who y'all are that be making bland food. So when y'all gotta switch to the hey, and I'm talking to some of y'all other folks too, that just because you can throw a bunch of random spices in the cabinet on it too, don't mean you good and know how to cook neither. We got the bland folks over here and the over spicers over here. Or just throw anything and sauces on top of stuff. Well, the sauce people in the middle. So spice people, sauce people, bland people. You can't get away with certain food pairings that kind of offset the blandness, or just throw lard and fat and stuff like a lot of people like to do, because that's not going to be conducive to your goals, unless your goals are to die of clogged arteries and be overweight. It's just not. You can have that when you're underweight, to be real with you, but we're not going to have that conversation today. And you can't just haphazardly throw. See, I told you to keep your sodium and everything intact, but guess what? You got to actually know which seasonings to use on certain things when you really start cooking certain things. And you try to put together some more exciting recipes. Now, Greg Doucette does have a nice cookbook where you can make some things that are more, this you're more a little bit more used to in your daily life, that you can readily integrate without just completely changing your life and feel like you're uprooting yourself. It's a little bit expensive, but it's worth it, and you could use that as a launch point to gain some, let's say, inspiration for other things you may want to do. But you gotta learn how to cook. Really learn how to cook. Learn how to cook that chicken. You can't fry the chicken anymore, but you could bake it. You could grill it. When you grill it, make sure you don't dry it out. Like, take it right to the right point so it come out and let it rest. It's still nice and juicy, and throw your seasonings on there, whatever. You can still use some sauces too and your different fats, but we're not using the canola oil and all that. We use the macadamia nut oil. We using different types of oils. So yeah, and don't get tripped up on the olive oil thing where most of it's not. Most of it on the shelves is counterfeit. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. Don't trip on that. I mean, it's true, but you ain't gonna trip on that. Okay. But anyways, so we can do that. All right. You have options. Learning how to cook will keep you in the game. You know how to pair other foods together. A lot of foods that you don't like. Some people say, "Oh, I don't like vegetables." I was watching Wife Swap, and man, the vegetables this woman brought out for these kids was so bland and unseasoned. I'm like, of course kids don't want to eat that bland, unseasoned vegetable you brought out. Like, come on, man. I can see through the screen it's bland. She ain't trying to put a single nothing on there. And if you think putting salt on your food is seasoning it, you already lost the game. You're trash. You're trash, bro. I don't use salt in my food, to be honest, but like, you're trash. Because that's a basic. Like, salt and pepper is basic. That ain't seasoning. That's standard. That should be in there. All right. But what I'm trying to say is, get your game right in the kitchen. It will save you. You will be able to find ways to prepare foods that you like, learn different recipes. I'm not giving you recipes because I'm quite simple, to be honest. I'm not the recipe guy, but I will tell you that that has taken a lot of people from not sticking to their diet to loving their diet, because you could get creative in that kitchen. Since a lot of us didn't grow up with these types of foods on that level, or learning how to cook. Now, you can make a meal, but you can't cook. You know what I mean? Once you know how to cook, put foods together, you know how to season it, put it together, not just what you season it, but the way you prepare it, so the food comes out good, bro. Night and day difference. You will stick to that diet, I promise you. And tracking. Why? Because tracking will show you how much is in a food. If you're underweight, if you're overweight, tracking will want to show you how much you're eating and not eating. Because some people think they eat so much and they don't. Some people think they eat so little and realize, well, maybe in volume they don't, but like the calories are way up here, or they don't account for a lot of stuff that they eat. That's the problem a lot of people face. Another thing that happens is tracking just makes you aware of how many calories, protein, how much calories, protein, fat, carbs are in everything. So things that you think are a good option, you start to realize they're not. You know, like people say, oh, aren't these nuts high in protein? Well, if I got to get 500 calories to get 5 grams of protein, that's not really high in protein. Especially if my protein amount is 250 grams a day, but I only have a certain amount of calories I can use to get to that. You start to realize that some of these things don't make any sense that you've been told. That's all I'm going to say. You get told one thing, it ain't the truth. Or they say, oh, low in fat, and then you look at it and you're like, is it really low in fat? Low in fat is one of those things that gets people. Just because it's low in fat don't mean it's healthy. A lot of times what they do is they take the fat out and then they throw the sugar in there to really bump it up so you still like it, so it still tastes good, but it's low fat, but now it's high carb. Or it's lower in fat, but the fat content is already super high. And we can get more into healthy fats and all that. You don't need to be afraid of fat, but when you start to track, you start to figure out the things that you can actually integrate into your diet, and you don't got to worry about high carb, high fat, low fat, all that kind of stuff. You can tailor it to yourself. So the biggest point of this video is to become a student, basically. Track your food, know what you're eating and not eating. Track what you already do, just doing it, so you see how it affects your body and your weight. Is your weight going down? Is it dropping? Like, take your weight every day. Track your food every day. Same time every day. Wake up in the morning, go to the bathroom, empty everything out, no clothes on, same spot in the bathroom or wherever. Each time, weigh yourself, write it down, average it out at the end to see what your weight's doing. And then start from there. And we'll talk about building a diet later on. But this is going to be eating past 30. This is going to be eating healthy past 30. This video is meant to get you started. How you going to act?